Hey everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. We're doing circles galore. We're going to do all kinds of things. Not only has our fabric got circles, but we've got circles for our background, and we're going to actually sew circles with the circles and straights or the table circle sewing tool. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I have a great surprise right before we got started. I got a call and said, hey, Donelle, the templates are new. We just now have them on the site. So we're going to be giving away a set of templates tonight. It will be the new circles and straights. Woo! So this is what the packaging looks like right here when you get them. This is what it's going to look like. On the back, it gives you a little bit of information if you were doing the circles like I'm doing tonight. And the beauty of this is you've got a QR code. Now guess what? It's the same one as on the handout that we had for tonight. So if you got the handout, you can just simply put your camera on your phone. We're going to demonstrate it here in a second. And it will automatically link to the video that shows you how to use these templates. But you're right here, so you're going to see it live and in person. But later you can do that. Now the shopping cart here is not just a cute little shopping cart. When you're on your computer, on your phone, whenever you bring this up, this is the link you want to use tonight to order your templates. Because that's going to take you right straight to the Sew Steady page with the templates on it and allow you to purchase those templates. So I'm super excited. We have really had a fast week trying to get all of this turned around so you could get them ordered tonight. And it happened late last night that we got everything on there. And so this is the one that you want to use. So either on your phone or on your computer, when you pull up this sheet, which was attached to the Sew Steady page, and it was also attached to the Westerly page, and you will find it right there. And when you click on it, it's going to take you right here. And guess what? We even have instructions. And I say that because not all of the templates have those instructions. And so we wanted to make sure that you could use those right out of the bag. So Megan's going to get her phone over here. She says just a minute. And we're going to just show you how easy this works. So I'm just going to move this over just a speck here. She's going to take the phone. She's got it right here. She's going to select her camera. And when she does and puts it over that, you can see that it pops up right there, and all you have to do is click on that and it links you to the YouTube. How to use the background fills 2-inch templates. As you can see, so you can see right there, I guess I'm copying that lady in the YouTube, that you can see that you're going to be able to reference that as you need it. So the other things on this, if you want to write down what I'm using fabric-wise for tonight, this is kind of another one of those fly by the seat of your pants, but if you want it just like mine, then what you're going to have is the top piece of fabric that I'm working on here, because I'm making a spring table runner. So the top piece is 20 by 40, 20 by 40. My batting, I just did it 41 by 21. So I just added an inch, just a little bit extra, don't need a bunch. And then the backing, I did 45, actually it's probably 44 by 25. Because again, I pull this around to the front to make my binding. So I leave that like that. And so I have just layered them up here. I've got almost half of this quilted, and so I'm going to be walking you through finishing this, and then I'll show you how I started in the center, and then we're going to jump into some circle sewing. So a little bit about the templates. I'm going to lay this black piece down here so that we can show you the templates. And We have the circle which we're using. This is the one I used last week. This is the pointed, or excuse me, the rounded diamond. This is the pointed oval, and got the same one twice. And then we have just the regular oval. They're all 2 inches this direction. Now, my recommendation for what I'm doing tonight is we're going to use 2 inches as our straight line too. So that's why my template has this mark right here with my ruler stickers. And I don't know whether I got to announce it last week or not, because I can't remember exactly. A lot has happened this week. Sew Steady now has ruler stickers. So if you're needing ruler stickers, you can get them right there on the Sew Steady site. So the ruler stickers, I'm going to show you a different way to line up that I found this week that works really well. Easy for me to say. But I think that you're going to find that this is very fun and forgiving. It's not so that, you know, oh my gosh, I went too far. Like right here, you can see I went a little bit too far. I was able to work that right out. Do we have a question?
We want to know, where do we get the handouts?
Okay, the handout is on the Facebook page for Sew Steady, or it's on the Facebook page for Westerly by me. And either of those places, you can download the handout. You can get it afterwards. Nothing on here other than the things I've already shown you that you would really need for the class today, other than you might want to just make sure you wrote down those measurements. And you guys, I can't see all of the comments, but while I was sewing, I looked up and I saw somebody's got a group of like 10 or 14 people. That is awesome. You guys are having a girl party, it sounds like. Maybe it's a quilt group. But I just love the fact that you're getting together and enjoying what you do best, and that is spend time with fabric, spend time with your sewing machine. We have outside of our sewing studio, our mat says out there, this is our happy place. And it truly is our happy place. So I have a line here. I'll show you in a minute how I just drew one line for this whole thing. And so because I knew this was 20 wide, from here down to the bottom, I just barely came into the edge right there. So I just barely stitched that down. And the first thing over here needs to be a circle because this is a straight line. So I'm simply going to lift up my foot and get into the circle template. Now, there's been a lot of talk this week, a lot of questions, a lot of people are concerned that they are not going to be able to pass through this channel because they can't lift their foot. I've tested it on those machines that are causing people to be confused or concerned. I shouldn't say confused. And I have had no problems with the low shank templates. Now, I couldn't get this one through on a low shank machine because it's a high shank template. But you need to purchase the right templates for your machine and you're not going to have any trouble because I've tested it with the Westerly foot on several Vikings, and they are the ones that don't have this back lift. And so you're just pushing the button and it does not hurt. It doesn't come up and it doesn't hit that needle bar. So I don't think you're going to have any issues. So those of you that have been concerned and think you're going to, I think I've checked everything. So if so, I evidently don't know of the machine you're talking about because I wanted to make sure that everybody could do all of the things that I'm showing you. So again, I'm passing that needle through there. I'm lining this up on this side because from the needle to the side of the template is 2 inches. Guess why? That's what the whole idea was, is everything is based on a system so that you don't have to have a bunch of lines and a bunch of drawings and all of that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the circle, stitch around there just like you would. And when I get to the bottom, there's a line right there. I'm simply going to pull the template forward, lift up and pass through the channel there. And then before I was saying to line up right here. Well, that's kind of hard to figure out. When I designed these, I intended for you to line up down here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. You can line up with those. That's not a problem, but this is way easier and actually more accurate. So if you're sewing a 2-inch line, all you're going to do is find that right there, because this is the little channel. It's 1/4 of an inch down into that channel, and I know you probably can't see it. Now you can. This is the line. This is the base of the channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this line up. I should have put the arrow going the other way, with the bottom of the circle over here. So how easy is that? That's going to keep us perfectly lined up, and we're just going to come till it stops. We're going to lift up. That circle doesn't have any options. It's just going to be stitched. So we're going to go around it. And I'm going to switch and come back to keep things going opposite. We're going to pull it forward, go through the channel, and then line up this line again. I'm going to get another ruler sticker so it's easy for you to see. And that way we'll have it so that we're right in the spot on both of those sides. If you haven't seen ruler stickers, they come in a package like this. I've already used up all my 3rd color, so I'm going to have to get some more. So I'm just pulling that off of there. And this time I'm just going to put it over on this side. If you've not been using ruler stickers, you're going to love it. So like right there, I'm lining up along the side. All I do is bear to one side of the channel or the other. The channel has just a smidge of extra space, so you're going to push to one side or the other. It does not matter which one, you just want to have it so it's straight. Lining up, and I'm going to stitch my circle. I know some of you have been laying awake dreaming about all the things you're going to be able to do with these templates because you've told me so. I've gotten probably more emails this week about these templates than about anything else.
So Peggy has the question, how do you know how far to go around the circle?
You're going a circle and a half. So I've got this lined up. Now watch here, I've got it on there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around one time and a half. And so you might even want to put another arrow down here so that you remember to stop. Now I'll tell you, I'm not going to show you where it's at, but somewhere on this piece that I was doing, I went almost clear up to here before I realized, oops, I'm supposed to stop back there. So I just stopped and went back. If anybody finds it, that means they've got good eyesight, and I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to put this right here, again, at the bottom of that circle, line this up, and just stitch down that channel, and stop, pick it up, line it up, and go the opposite direction that I did the time before. Now you can create any patterns that you want with these. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do, but this is the way the basic designing of them is intended to be. Now I'm going to pull this out and see if you can see how, because of the way we're doing it, do you see how my circles are in a pattern here going diagonally? So you can do that diagonally. Now, if you wanted to, you could work this going side to side. This same thing can go side to side. I just feel more comfortable doing from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to set this in here. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to set this for the 2 inches. And I'm going to just go across there. And I'm going to turn this. Set my circle in there, make sure it's lined up over on this side. Not hearing?
We've got a few people who aren't hearing, but others are saying they can, so I was just testing some things.
Okay. So here you can see I'm lining this line up. I could put another one over here. And so that's going to be my distance down. So it keeps us lined up each time. So that way you don't really have to worry. If you got just a little bit off, it's not going to matter. So I'm down at the bottom again. I'm pulling forward. I am going to line this line up right at the bottom of the other line and come forward. Looks like I'm going to be finishing up with this one. Doesn't look like I'm going to need another row.
So for those who want to order, where can they order these templates now?
If you go to the Sew Steady site, I would appreciate you using the link that I gave you, which is this right here. When you use this link, it says that it was sold from tonight's show. And so I would appreciate you using this link. But if you go to Sew Steady's site with that link, it's going to take you right to that page. And all you have to do is put in what your machine is and what model, and you are going to get them ordered. Otherwise, it's just like anything else. They have a search bar, and all you have to do is put in background fills, because this is the first of its type. But let me tell you, I got some fun ideas on the drawing board, because you guys got so excited about them last week that we wanted to make sure we were getting a leg up and getting some more designed. So here we are. This is the last one. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and the only reason I'm turning sideways is to show you that the other one would be off. I would only be doing straight lines and half circles, and it really wouldn't look good. So I'm just going to secure this by going back and forth a bit. And so I've got half of this done. Now I'm going to show you how I work with this. I'm rolling this up. I'm going to go up to at least this point. And over on the other side, I have it rolled up, as you can see, so I'm going to unroll it. And there's my first line. So I'm just going to take my large Wonder Clips. It works just great to hold those in place. And I'm going to come to the opposite side, and I'm only going to roll it up just a little bit because I need to have enough space to stitch. So these Wonder Clips really work well because when you open their mouth, so to speak, you've got extra room in here, as you can see. So I just used 3 of those Wonder Clips. Now when I started about 45 minutes ago on this, I simply drew a line down the center. So right down the center there was a line. And that's how I started it. And so when I got that first one done, I chose to go that direction. So I went off to this direction. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I just finished this one. I'm going to put my needle in, bring it up, and the other one I cut, so it's going to be short. So when I lift this up, I'm going to need to get my tweezers to pull that up. Now when I do that, I'm going to put the needle down, and when this one being started, of course I have stable tape on my template. This one is going to go 2 inches this direction. So I'm lining it up, and what you can't see is there's a stitch line or an etch line like this on the back that I've lined up, and I'm pushing against the bottom ridge here, and I'm going right to that spot. Now at that point, I just turn the whole thing around so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to turn this straight line here, and part of that looks like it's extra wide because it's my drawn line. So that means the first thing I'm going to stitch is a circle here. So I'm just lining up that side and stitching my circle. I'm pulling forward, and remember this line here, I'm lining right up with the bottom over there, easiest way to do it. Move forward, and if you haven't noticed, this has enough space to get through, but it also locks your template in where you want it. So you're just going to lock that template in, line it up with the side here, and we're going to do a circle. Now the other templates all work the very same way, all exactly just like this. And if I wanted to mix and match these templates together, I could, but tonight this is a circle project, so we called it Circles Galore, so we didn't want to put anything else in it but circles.
Janice wonders, could you use the small echo guide to make a smaller circle?
Yes, you could, but if you do the echo guide, you can't get through the channel. So you're going to have a little bit of tough time every single time taking off the echo guide to get through the channel.
Jenny wants to know, are these templates a little different for sit-down long arms that don't have a foot that lifts?
They still should work exactly like this, because I think that when they don't lift, they're up off of the fabric a little bit more. So I think you should be able. I don't have a sit down to test that on, but I would think that they should work. We'll have to get somebody to give them a test, because these do come in all three heights: low shank, high shank, and long arm.
Handout link as well as the link that this shopping cart goes to. So I'm putting that in right now if they want to go and purchase your fills using that link.
So the shopping cart link, you have the whole thing.
I have the whole thing.
It ends in 1675.
Yes, it does.
All right, then it would be for tonight's event. So that will be perfect. So she's going to post that so that you'll have it. You can see I turned that there. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to embellish with circles. So ask away on those questions, because I will tell you that even if you don't catch it all, you're going to have that video on YouTube to reference. I have so many fun things that I personally have planned out for this template, because I have wanted a background fills for so long, and this just makes it so that I can work with even embroideries. You can do this and, you know, have embroideries over it, so many different things. So let me know out there, thumbs up, would you like to see some smaller ones of these?
We did have somebody that would like to see hearts in one.
Well, that's a possibility.
So I wrote it down. Carol wants to know what kind of transparent grips are you using, and I think she might mean
It's the stable tape.
Yes.
It's the stable tape.
Ooh, you're getting lots of hearts and likes. What did you just ask them?
If they wanted to see smaller.
Oh, I think it's an overwhelming yes.
Okay. Because I'm thinking about some bigger ones too, but smaller might be good.
And yeah, send us your ideas if you have some other ideas for shapes.
So we're almost to the bottom here, and I wanted to share some things with you regarding actually combining obviously this with the circle sewing tool, because I think a lot of people have seen me do it, but they still don't quite understand how all of that is done. So I'm just going to stop here, go a little bit back and tap, because that's going to be under my binding, and we will cut this. And so I'm going to undo this whole thing, and we're going to try to pan back so that you can see it.
So there was a question, if you're thinking of doing bigger, would you be able to use echo guides in those?
The channel will still be just for the needle. So here we go, so that you can see our bubbles on bubbles, or circles on circles.
Or somebody said maybe future Christmas ornaments.
There we go. So we have got probably about 30 inches finished. I've probably got 10 inches to go, but this will give us enough. So is everybody good out there with how that worked, or did you need to see one more row? If you want to see one more row, let me know. Boy, I'm just looking now over on the camera. This is really pretty underneath there.
They have liked your fabric.
Yeah.
Some of them, while we're waiting to see if they want another row, have asked about the stable tape because they thought it was white and it's clear. Has it changed?
I have one that is just a little heavier duty, and so that's why that looks like it's clear. It's not really, really clear. So this would be the stable tape right here that you're used to, that's more white. So I picked up a piece of it instead because I was wanting to get tape on there. This is what stable tape, that way, is what you're used to seeing. I have that on my other templates, but this one, it looks like I've got the one that looks a little bit more clear. All right, do we need to see it one more time?
Some are saying one more row, so go for
All
it.
right, one more row. So we're gonna just undo the little clips over here on the side. And I'm folding that back. And I don't know if I told you, but I spray basted my layers together. It's a nice day here in Indiana, and so we were able to have the garage door open and spray that. And I do kind of have a favorite spray, and I like to use the Spray Based by June Taylor. So I need my template. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here. And to get that in place, I want to get it right where it's supposed to be. So needle down, needle up. And I'm going to lift up my foot and pull up my thread. Ooh, I lucked out, guys. And so I'm going to turn it with the stopper on this side. And that just makes it so I really can't go too far. So if you'll just think of it that way, as the stopper is over there on the side, needle back down, and I'm going to line this edge up and go right across to there. And notice that there is an etching line right here that lines right up with that line. So this time, my first thing is a straight line. So I am going to line this up with the bottom of the circle. This edge is lined up right with the straight line. It can't get much easier, you guys, and when you get into this rhythm of this, it just goes very quickly because you're just going to be in a rhythm. And this is one of those that even if you have not been doing template quilting very long, you are going to find it's perfect for you.
Currently, these all come in a set, right? They can't buy
Correct. They're not individually sold at this point. I don't know down the future. That's a question for Sew Steady. I'm the designer, not the manufacturer. Not the manufacturer. I know in the past, when you get a set like this set is $60, and when you get this set, if you were to buy them separately, they would be $20 a piece. So it's like you get one template free. So I always found that it was less expensive, and I'll tell you, you're going to love all of them. So last week I used the rounded diamond. Megan, you want to find that project so we can share it for the people who did not see that? I don't know for sure where it's at. So we're down here to the last one. Hang on just a minute. And I'm simply going to cut that thread because that's one more row. So for those of you that weren't with us last week, this is the template that we used. It's called the Pointed Diamond. And this was our project. Now we had 42 to 22 winners last week. 22 winners. And everybody has been shipped out except, there's my stack I need to tell you. This is what we did, and we fused on the leaves. So these are the people that we need to hear from. Peggy Justice, you were one of the grand prize winners. Gidget Carter, June Denore, Joan Arnold, Jeannie Hart.
I know Jeannie's on there.
Roseanne Creason, and Sandra Shane Watterson. You guys need to send me an email at sobiz.indy.rr.com. It is on the handout. You need to let me know what you won and your mailing address. So those of you that I did not mention, yours are on the way. So you should have them. They've all been put in the mailbox.
And for those that came in late, what's the exciting news for tonight?
The exciting news for tonight is we're giving away one complete set, $60 value of the Background Fills 2-inch template. So if you haven't registered yet, well, I guess you have because your name's on there, but if you're lurking out there and you haven't made a comment, you're not in the game. This is what the packaging looks like. This is my rough drawing of it. This is what the back side looks like. And inside, you have instructions on how to do this. Plus, you have a QR code to scan and get onto our YouTube channel. So if you haven't been on our YouTube channel yet, just put Donelle McAdams in YouTube and you'll get right to our YouTube channel. Now, we're ready to put some circles on this circle project. So what I'm going to do is just fold this up for a second. You are welcome to continue asking questions. I won't be using that piece. And for those of you that don't have holes in your table, this is the holes in the table. Right now there are specials. The holiday specials have started. And so it takes about 3 weeks to get your table. So you would still have time to get it and still have time to do some Christmas presents. So if you order the wish table, you're going to get this nice big blue drawer that I have. You can also see that you could buy this extra piece here, and I'm going to show you this because I don't know that I've shown you this in a while. But this is a light stick. And this light stick, you don't need light under your sewing machine, any of that, for anything other than if you wanted to transfer some designs. So let's say you wanted to draw this off onto either another piece of paper or maybe your heat and bond light. It will show right through there when you have that light on. When I turn the light off, you can't see it. So that light under there allows you to turn the end of your wish table into a light box. So you may have the table, but this would be a great stocking stuffer. This is called a light stick. It's on the Sew Studies page, and it also is a USB connection. So like on my machine right now, I have a USB, so I just have it plugged right into my machine for its power. So that makes it really nice. And again, you got the nice big drawer that slides in or slides out. I'm going to leave mine out because I want you to be able to see the holes. But if you don't have holes in the table, you can get what's called the Circles and Straights tool. So if you have a table but it doesn't have holes, you're going to use this. And so the back of this is a cling. You're just going to pull this off, put it onto your table, and you're going to line it up over here so that the front to back is centered and the side to side is centered. And so I'm just going to peel that off now so you can see it. And so when I take this off, easy for me to say, right? This is now a cling, just like my free motion mat. And the lines on here have done all the math for you. So if you wanted a 10-inch circle, then you're just going to be using this piece right here. And you can see that it has an etching from side to side and up and down. And it has a pin in it that's going to hold your fabric. It's like a thumbtack. And so I'm just going to peel the back off of this. And just like this backing, if this quits sticking, which I can't imagine, you can see how sticky it is. But just like this mat, you can put water on the back of this or water on the back of the mat. I just rinse my mat in warm water and it will clean it off and make it stick again. So if I wanted a 10-inch circle, I just put that on there like that, pick this up, put my fabrics, place them on there, and do my circles. Now, I'm not going to be doing that because I have holes in my table, but I wanted you to see that anybody can do this, because even if you have yours in a cabinet, you could just take a piece of tape and tape down the sides, because this is probably not going to cling to your wood cabinet or laminate cabinet. Now, when I've done that size and I want to do something again, I can just take this off, reposition it where I want it to go. When I'm completely finished, I'm going to put this piece right back on, take this off, and put the backing back on it, and simply roll it up and store it back in its container. And so I don't think I showed you, but this is called the Universal Circles and Straights tool. And we came out with this about a year ago this time. And I want to tell you, they sold like crazy because everybody who wanted to do circles but didn't have a hole with tables really fell in love with it. Now, if you get the So Steady Wish table with the holes, this is a 22.5 by 25.5. This table actually comes with this piece. And so you're going to have two little tabs that fit into here, and then that same thumbtack is right there on the end. So you're going to be able to use that tool that comes with. And it's interesting because I've had people say, I didn't even know what that tool was for. I had no idea. So we are going to put some circles onto our circles project. So I have already taken...
We got a couple people out there saying they need a bigger sewing room.
Yeah. So I've already taken some fabric and put some backing pieces on it. And so I'm going to start with this one down here, and I'm going to make a really large circle. Now, I can't do that with a ruler foot. So I need to get out my decorative stitch foot because I'm first going to sew straight stitching, and then I'm going to be sewing with my, I'm trying to find my scissors here.
While you're looking, Barbara wants to know what size table already has the holes in it. Is that just the Wish table?
The Wish table, which is 22.5 by 25.5, and the Giant Wish. Both already have the holes in them. Now, there is another package right now that's the same size as the Wish table, but it's called the Dream Table. It does not come with the holes in it, but it comes with that other piece that I just showed you, the yellow mat. So you can get it either way. I kind of like to have the holes right in my table, but both of those have special options now before Christmas. So you're going to want to look at those and see which one suits your needs.
So Linda wants to know, if they use that link that's on the handout, that shopping cart, can they order other things as well?
Oh yeah, you can go shopping. You can certainly go shopping. Now Megan, you're going to pick me a color of thread.
Is that too similar?
That's too much alike, so maybe we'll go with the darker one.
Okay.
All right, so this is the thread I'm going to use. It is a little bit of a rayon, or no, I shouldn't say a little bit. It does have a shine to it, and so I am going to be sewing just a regular straight stitch first. And so my machine is saying, hey, make sure you got the right plate and the right foot on. So got to make sure everybody's happy. And thank goodness most machines anymore will let you know if you don't have it correct. Love
Jody
that
says
threader.
this is going to be so cool.
Yep,
I
it
agree.
is going to be fun. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put my foot in, put my thread through my foot, and I am now going to decide this is going to be, let's see how big I can make it. Right here on my lovely wish table, I have a ruler that says it's 11.5 inches. So I can go out, oh, let's see, we'll go out 5 inches, 5 1/4. We can go clear out to there, I think. And so I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to, you've seen me do this before where I didn't have something like this. I just had a piece of fabric. So I've got to work with what I've got here and see where I'm going to position it. And so let's just go a little bit offset there, and we're going to position it right here. So I'm bringing that up through my backing, and now on the back of my fabric you can see I have Heat and Bond Light. This gives my fabric some body, and it also allows me to cut better, and so the edges are going to seal when I press it. Now, to find the center, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to fold this in like triangles and then just press that spot right there. And so I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to test it. Am I going to be on the fabric? Well, I don't have to go very far to see that that's not going to happen. So I'm going to find that pin more, put it right back in place, and move it in. So all I'm doing is reaching underneath here and moving it in a little bit. And so to test it, I'm just going to go around. Whoop, looks like we're going to be good. Now this is one of those fabrics, and this is the reason I chose it first, that's got something going on here. So I don't think I want those lines going particularly straight across. I want to be a little wonky, because that's just me. So I'm going to go ahead now, set my foot down, and because this is a bigger project, you're not going to do much bigger than this with circle sewing already done on a quilted piece. You would probably have to do it on just a background fabric. But with this one, I can go ahead, put my foot down, I've got it set for a straight stitch, and I'm just going to help my fabric make this path around here. And you can see it's having no trouble, but as it comes through, I want you to see I've got a hold of this, and I'm supporting that so that it doesn't have to worry with the weight of dragging it.
Okay, so there's some confusion. Is there Heat and Bond on the back of these?
There's Heat and Bond right here on the back. You can see the shine. Now I'm telling you, if you don't have a Sew Steady table and you're doing template quilting, you just gotta break down and get it, especially now that they have all of these special offers going on. Can you see how perfect that came back there? Right back to where it started. Now the scissors that I like to use on this seem to have taken a walk. So I'm going to have to use a substitute, which is big sister. So I usually like to use my little tiny applique scissors, but for some reason they've gone, like I said, on a little walk. So I'm just going around my fabric here, and these aren't getting quite up as close as my little ones would, but it'll work. And yes, this is the direction that I go with it because it allows me to see what I'm doing and know that I am not cutting through my circle stitch. But I will tell you, I know you've all been good this year, so the naughty nice thing is not even something that we need to ask. So you should get yourself an awesome table. They're all cut specific for your machine. So when you order it, you don't have to know anything but what your machine name, model, and make is, and they will get it cut perfect. You can even get them for your sergers. So I'm almost back.
Facebook just kicked me off of liking people's stuff. So I'm sorry if it's not showing up that I aren't liking your comments. I must have hit my maximum.
So right here when I started, I got a little ways away. So now what I'm going to do, while I've got this all set here, I could change my thread, or I can use this thread. I picked this thread because I plan to use it. So I'm going to go into the Decorative Stitches right now, and I am going to pick this particular stitch. It is going to go right around this shape. And so in order to actually demonstrate this tonight, I've got to let it stitch. So I'm trying to pick stitches that go pretty fast.
So there's a question. Fatima wants to know, can you quilt with a double batting?
Yes, you certainly can. You're not going to be doing this with a double batting, but you certainly can. And I almost did this one tonight, but then I realized that I wanted to do this so that I could do the circle sewing like we're doing here. And this is another reason we polish our table, okay? This is another reason we polish the table, so that this will just slide right around there. We've already quilted our background. Now we're just embellishing the top. And I assume that you can see, maybe not, let me go like that. You can see the decorative stitches coming out the back and around. And so if you look at that big circle, which is almost, I think it's about 10 inches, I'm thinking, well, it's pretty boring like it is. So we're going to do some more stuff to it, just because I want you to see how easy it is to maneuver.
Sandra wants to know, are your feed dogs up or down?
They're up now. They're definitely up. I'm doing nothing. I wish you could see I'm actually holding the edge of the fabric here just so that it moves in a nice way around there. Now you want to make sure you have a good flat surface and that nothing's catching in the back. Sometimes you have it hit the wall and you have to pull your table out away from the wall, meaning your actual sewing surface.
Elaine just said one of her grandsons wants a circle quilt, and now after watching this, she thinks she could do it.
Well, there's so many things you can do with the circle sewing attachment. If you've not seen my Trim the Table, that pattern is also available. And if you look on the Sew Steady events page, you're going to see that somewhere in the future, I'm not sure exactly when or where, but you can look on there, and I am going to be doing a class virtually on Trim the Table, so you might want to go ahead and order that pattern. And we'll show you here. Megan, remind me, I'm at the end here, so I got to watch what I'm doing. I am just going to press my bullseye, and it's going to finish this design, and you can see it knotted up and down. So I'm ready to go ahead and cut. Well, I don't know what that was all about, but it got stuck there, so hang on just a second.
So we do have a question that kind of maybe pertains to this. Myrna wants to know, does the heat and bond get sticky from the speed and heat of the needle?
No, it does not, because it's designed for that. Now you can see here, guys, I have got a place where my bobbin thread came up. So my plan is not worry about that. We'll put another circle over that thing. So what I'm going to do right now is leave all of this attached, look in my bobbin area and see why it got upset. Maybe it's because I need some more thread. So let me wind that real fast, and then we can move on. So what was that question that I was answering?
Oh, I don't remember. I have another one.
All right.
Bonnie wants to know, do you have any tricks on how to find your Penmore? She ended up with one in her coffee mug that was behind her machine. So how do you find your Penmore?
Find it? You mean buy another one?
I think she means just keep it so it doesn't get lost.
I always keep it on its thing. I just always keep it on the thing, and when you're not using it, I have this little box sits in front of mine and on my machine, and I just keep it right in there. So if you need another one, let me know. I'll send you a Penmore, because they are handy. I use them for a lot of different things. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back in, making sure that everybody's happy down here. Looks like they are. Always make sure you've got your bobbin in the correct direction. So if you can see what I'm doing there, when I pull that, it's counterclockwise. I'm making sure I go around everything, and I hold that down in place so that that gets in there tight. All right, so I'm not going to change and fill this in yet, but I want to show you. I'm going to set this in at a different position. And we're going to go clear into, let's go right here. And this time I'm going to do just the reinforced straight stitch. That's called the Kamikaze Approach. When you turn your machine off like it didn't like something, it's like, I ain't fighting you. I'm just going to turn it all off.
We've got a few out there saying that their link isn't working. I just checked it, and it is working. So if you're still having issues, please let us know. You might need to scroll down if you're using a phone, but it's all up and working.
Well, I see what happened the last time. My thread needed a little kick in the seat of its pants, because somehow it's gotten crazy on me. All right. I couldn't have done this again if I absolutely tried. Don't give up on me, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me see if there's any other questions.
I'm still connected here. I thought it was a problem down underneath, but it looks like it was a problem above. Alrighty. So this time, what I'm going to do is simply the reinforced straight stitch, And so I'm just going to set the foot down and do that stitch all the way around.
So Cindy asked, on the circle and straights tool, what does the straight do?
The straight you can use on the other side as a measurement for whatever your allowance is. So like if you were doing, let's say you were doing a valance and you needed like a 2-inch header on the top of the valance, you could just measure over the 2 inches and put that tool over on this side on the mat and easily follow the 2 inches because the mat has all of those measurements on it. Great question. I should have explained that. It's also great when you're teaching kids to sew because it gives them like a ride right along. There's a little barrier there that they can just butt their fabric up against. So this is always pretty cool. You'll see what I'm going to do after I do this around here.
So Betty has a great question. How wide of a decorative stitch can you use with the circle tool?
How wide of a decorative stitch?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your machine will do. This one will do a 9mm wide. Now I can make I can make huge circles because I can move my table away from the needle.
I think she's meaning the width of the actual stitch.
Okay, well this was a 9mm stitch right here. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to move this out one set, and I am going to pick a stitch that's going to look like it's coming right off of that one there. So I'm going to go into my decorative stitches, and let's see what we're going to pick here. Let's look. I've got so many decorative stitches, and this is what's fun about this, is because you may never have been able to use all of these decorative stitches. So I'm just going to use this one right here, and it's set in the correct position. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my foot down and give it a start. You will notice that this one goes backwards and forwards, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that.
I got a question from Carla. Is there a limit on how many circles you can overlap, like stacking wise?
I doubt that there is. I honestly doubt that there is. Can you guys see it coming out the back there? Got some little circles. Guess what? Circles. Now I could have changed color of this thread, probably should have. We'll do that after we do our other line. But you can see I don't even have my hands in there, you guys. It's just going around. And it's because I've got this turned in and pinned with my Wonder Clips, and my table was polished right before we started. And it's a table, so it's 22 inches wide. My project's 20 inches wide, so it's got plenty of room to work around here. And so if you're thinking maybe, I think Donelle wants me to get a table, I just want you to have the ease of all of this. It takes the smaller machines even and makes them such a bigger area to work with, and it makes it so much easier to have this nice big area. So even if you don't get the wish table, although I think you should because you want to do these circles, you know, there are other sizes of tables, but it's just so easy and so much fun. And if you've got grandkids, boys and girls, you set them down doing this, and all of a sudden, you know, not grandkids, grandkids, daughters, sons. You know, it's just so much fun. And I can tell you a lot of, I'm going to say, young moms probably haven't had opportunity because they've been so busy, but they haven't had opportunity to sew since they were in maybe the 8th grade. And it would just be awesome to get out and do some fun things like this that are easy, that have beautiful results without a lot of effort. I mean, I'm sitting here watching this, you guys. That's not a whole lot of effort. And you can see when I just first got started with that straight stitch around there, you're like, well, that's not real exciting. But now, as we keep going, it gets more interesting. And I know I've never taken the time to actually sew the circles and decorate them for you. And so that's why I wanted to do this tonight, because not only, you know, I'm showing you the background fills, but you want to see how you can embellish something that you did the background fills on. And so that's why I wanted to combine this tonight, and we called it Circles Galore, because yeah, we're going to do a lot of circles.
So we have a few that want to know, are you going to cut out the inside circle on that stitch?
On this one I am not, although I could. But on this one I am not going to do that. You'll see why here in just a moment.
Opal also wants to know, do you always have to do the straight stitch first, once you have your first initial circle?
The only way I get a perfect circle to cut out is to do the straight stitch.
Okay.
So that's,
she's asking,
yeah.
because you did an inside straight stitch as well on this one.
Because it's going to be part of my design.
Got it, okay.
This inside straight stitch I did a double. That's the reinforced straight stitch. It wasn't just a straight stitch, that's why it took so long, and it's actually going to be part of my design. Good question though, you guys are thinking. Don't forget, you guys, we're going to be giving away a set of templates tonight. So we're almost back, and this is where I get my nose right down in there and watch, because I'm going to try my best to get things pretty well lined up. But you'll notice I did start right here where my boo-boo is, because I'm going to put another circle over this anyway. So I'm really not watching too worriedly. But it did come pretty much back to where it was. And I again just press my stop button and let it finish, and it will knot off. And I'm just going to cut it. Now what I'm going to do, and I wanted to do this so that you can see at least one completely kind of thought followed through with. Woo! That was a mouthful. I'm going to take this design now and simply switch it to the other side and do it again.
What thread are you using? You might have mentioned it, but we have a few questions
I'm
about
just using some embroidery thread. This happens to be some 40 weight rayon that I'm using here. And if you have a good balanced tension, which mine was in this case, I just left my thread that I quilted with on the back. So all of this and all of the back will have that color on it. So I promise my other circles I do tonight, I'm going to do some smaller ones so they won't take so much time.
How large is the largest circle again?
Oh my goodness. You can do huge circles because you can pull your table away from your machine. In other words, slide it down that way. So, Megan, if you want to get my picture over there, we'll just back off and I'll sew and you can show them that. I did one as a frame dart, and I don't know if you can sit it up against my ruler holder there, and then they can see that.
I have to laugh. We have some ladies who are watching football, and a few of them just said, I think I might skip the football and go upstairs and sew while watching this. So we're almost beating out football. That's pretty impressive. All right, I think I got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move you.
But that's a piece that I did and framed, and that frame is probably 20 by 26 or 28, something like that. And you'll notice the great big circle that comes around there. That is probably close to a, I would say 30-inch actual diameter circle, because I think it's like 15 inches to the corner of that frame. But your stitches, I mean, it's just so much fun to see what you can do. I don't know, can you go in and out on that so they can see it a little closer?
I think I can do it this way better.
Okay. But there's so much fun that can be had with the circle sewing part. And for those of you that don't know my story, so to speak, that's how I actually got started with Sew Study. Was I was doing circle sewing projects with this circle sewing tool, and that was before templates were even heard of and or thought of.
Uh-oh. Somehow I've all messed up.
Oh, this is the way you would tighten it.
I don't need to tighten it. I think I needed it to go the other way.
I think this is good. This is okay.
All right, as long as it's not in your way.
So you can see I'm almost back there. Megan, are you going to pick me a fabric for putting on this one?
I got it. Do you want a big piece or a little piece?
I want a not quite that small.
Okay. I'm going to move your threads
So
closer.
you guys, blue, yellow, green, what will she pick? Oh, I don't think so. That's too bright. What's my green look like? That will do, only I want a smaller one. Whoa, there we go. It's right back to where, oh my goodness, that one is almost matching. Bullseye. Can you guys see that? Right there. That's where I finished. That was so lucky. But I'm going to cover it up anyway, so it won't matter. So that's what we did to embellish that. I'm going to use this one for the next one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my point over to right in this area.
They're all cracking me up. They want purple, and guys, can
Guess
you believe
what?
it? We have no purple
We have
fabric.
no purple fabric. I could not find any this afternoon. There we go. And some of you are going, oh my gosh, you just made a hole in your fabric. Does it really matter? It didn't make a hole, but I'm going to make a circle over it anyway, so it'll never match, or never matter. Match. I don't know where that came from. So here's my fabric with heat and bond on the back. And Megan, you are going to have to swing it to the side till I get it started, because I can't work around that. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before to find my middle. And I'm going to put that right on my pin. Now this piece is not probably going to be big enough for where I've got this positioned. So I'm just going to come in further. I'm going to have to take this off here just a second.
Susan said she got her circle sewing tool about a year ago and never used it. Now her brain is just racing with ideas.
And that's why I wanted to show you this tonight, because I know you've got some projects. Megan, while I'm getting this set up, get my trim the table over there. It's on the hangers.
Your new one or your Christmas one?
Both of them.
Oh, I got them. Okay.
So this is Trim the Table, and this is a pattern you can get on the Sew Study site, and this is done with circles. And so Megan can back that off so you can see it. I'll rethread my machine. And so now you can do that circle project with that Trim the Table pattern. It also has a circular napkin with it, and I just did cross hatching in here. Obviously you could do about anything. You could do embroidery in here, and then this is another one with the same pattern, and we have used the background fills. I used the pointed oval up here, and in here I used the circle, and then I alternated it with the rounded diamond, and then did template cutting in there. So lots of things. I just connected this. If you look real close, I've used metallic thread.
Where can they find this? Is this on the Westerly?
This is on the Westerly site.
Or Sew Study site, I mean?
I'm sorry, Sew Study site. Yes, on the Sew Study site. So when you use that link, you can go there. So this is how this napkin is done. It's a circular. What did you need to know? And then it's folded like so. So I have selected to use a bright fuchsia thread since I couldn't use a lavender fabric for you.
And you know they're going to want to know what your thread is that you're using.
It's the same threads. It's just another color. It's the same thread. And this is just a fuchsia color just because I wanted to change it up. I'm checking my circle. We have to remember to set it back to a straight stitch. And let's see if it can be a little bit bigger. Yeah, it can. So let's just make it out just a smidge bigger.
Janice wants to know what weight of heat and bond do you use?
Light. I use the Heat and Bond Light. Ooh, that's close. That's close. That's too close. Okay. I was right to begin with. All right, here we go. And so this one I'm going to be overlapping. Sorry about that, guys. I know you weren't seeing anything. I'll just have to get you in the screen again because we've got a circle to sew. All right, so I'm cutting that thread. I want to be very careful when I do this because I keep my scissors good and sharp and I don't want to cut anything below there. So that's one reason you want to make sure that you're paying attention to where your point of your scissors is, because you don't want to cut a hole in something that you can't mend or whatever. But this is why I like that fusible on the back, because as you can see, I can just kind of pull on it and it just cuts right around there. And if you haven't had your scissors sharpened in a while, I would encourage you to find a good scissor sharpener and have them take care of your scissors. Some scissors are even sharper after you have them sharpened than they were when you purchased them.
So Linda wants to know, what is the purpose of using heat and bond if you're not doing simply quilting?
Because this gives this fabric, the edges are sealed together by the heat and bond. So you don't see any fraying even when I'm cutting it. It's so much easier to cut and it's so much easier to manage. And then later it will, when I get finished, be able to be sealed down. So you're going to be able to seal that by pressing it.
In your circle sewing university circle sewing class, do you show how to do all these different projects?
Not all of these, no. Can't show everything in one class. Not possible. Okay, so let's see what we want to do as a decorative stitch here. So let's do this one. So, somehow this got into program mode. That's why my stitches are doing funny things. I don't want to program. You can program your stitches, you know, like one stitch at a time, and that's what this was setting up for. So I don't want to do that. So just give me a second here. So now we'll look for these stitches, and
Peggy wants to know, do we do anything with the scraps that have heat and bond on them? The ones that you cut off?
show her what we did today. Because yes, after we got done cutting out all of those leaves, we actually cut off the pieces that could probably be used again. I'll stop here so it doesn't get in the way, but these were the outsides of it because we cut them using our AccuCut. And so these little strips are still usable. And then Megan went through and cut all of these little triangles off. And so somewhere along the line, those will be used for something. And they're all in a color coordinated thing. So we'll put them all in one baggie and we'll put those together. So yes, you know, if you've ever done one of those quilts where you just lay fabrics down, you could cut those into geometric shapes and lay them down and fuse them on and then stitch over them. Maybe use your background fills to stitch right over those. Now this one right here, I am doing this around this way, and then I'm going to move it in and alter the, or flip the stitch side to side so the rounded sides will be together. I like to build stitches, so to speak, and that is where we can get some really unique things going on. I never really find that you make a mistake because there's always something you can do, believe it or not. So as this is coming up here, I'm going to get my little embroidery scissors that have the real sharp points, and I'm going to get in there and I'm going to cut those threads away that are sticking up because I don't want them to get involved in a stitch. So I'm cutting that out. And trust me, you guys, my hands are out here in the background and they are holding things firm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this so that it's in one more spot. I've got to get it in the holes there. There we go. And then I'm just going to take this stitch and I'm going to flip it the opposite direction. And so now, is that what I wanted? Yes, that's what I wanted. I am going to be able to go around again.
So you had mentioned that if they want to make bigger circles, they just pull their
And pull your
away.
table away. But you've got all of these holes. Show the holes down there, Megan.
Oh, it's covering it. There they are.
Your holes go all the way down here.
So the question from Harriet is, she makes 70-inch table rounds. If she pulls her table out 35 inches from the needle, can she make
If
that?
you got that big a space, you can do it. You're going to have to be holding that fabric good, though, because that's a lot of fabric. But yeah, I would think you could. And the thing that's fun about this, I can actually go ahead and finish this mat here, table runner. I could finish it, get the binding all turned around and all of that stuff, and then go back and do some more embellishment. It doesn't have to all be done right now. Obviously, I have to stay on this end because otherwise I don't have it ready. So I am going to hit the bullseye there. So you can see what that design looks like. One was actually around the outer edge and one was just inside so that the rounded parts came together. And of course I can go in farther and all of that, but I'm going to go ahead and simply cut this thread right now. It's cut on the back. And we are going to go to a different spot. So let's pick another fabric. We'll probably make this the last one. So now you want the bright blue, right? We're going to do some bright blue on here. And some of you are going, oh my gosh, what in the world is she doing? We're playing. So I'm going to just decide, okay, that looks good. I'm going to peel the back off here. I'm going to find my center. I'm going to put this on here. And you want to vary the size of your circles. You don't want them all to be, you know, the same size. So I'm going to have to reach under here. And we want to make this circle about like that. And I'm just looking underneath there. Yep, I think that'll work.
Sandra wants to know, what do you do with all of your samples that you make during these classes? What do we do with them?
We put them in a pile and we finish them at some point in the game. And then if when we ever get ready to go back out on the road, we will have plenty to deal with. So which thread do we want to use, you guys? I think this one. So we're going to sew this circle and do a little bit of, I'm going to sew the inside and cut out the inside so you can see how that's done. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh, I'm sure they are. Karen wants to know, do you backstitch at the end when you're using your decorative thread?
If you don't have a tie-off. I have a tie-off. But yes, you could. Or you could take them to the back and tie them.
V wants to know, how big is the hole that is left when you take the tack out of the middle? And it's
Not very big at all.
Very big
We can show you, but once you take your finger over and you press it, it's not very big at all. In fact, I don't even know for sure if I'm showing the right spot, but it's not very big at all.
And once you press it,
It's kind of gone away.
Yeah.
All right, straight stitch. And here we go. We got to do 2 circles. So let's see. Yep. We can go one bigger.
Judy asked, do you usually go to all the big quilt shows? And you
Oh,
did.
yes, before COVID.
Before COVID, you did.
Oh, we hit the frame. You want to move the frame?
Oh, no.
I'm
Yeah, I
hitting
can
the
do that.
frame. I say, why didn't that want to go around?
Oh, and that reminds me. Some of the ladies were asking about the table polish.
Okay, table polish is on the Sew Study website also, and it comes in a little vial. You can tell I got a lead foot. It looks like this. It's called table and insert polish. And you just shake this up and put about a size of a quarter on your table. And then you use the little cloth that comes with it to polish your table. You can polish your machine, you can polish your mats. Oh, look at that. Right back to where we started.
The other question I had earlier was, could you use table polish on anything else?
You can use it on the bed of your machine. So some of you may have at some point experienced where your bed of your machine took on the color of your fabric. So you can protect your machine by putting the table polish on the bed of your machine too. So I'm going to bring this in. And
Are you going to do any classes at a virtual quilt show?
Already am doing. Yep, definitely. I got my lead foot. I better turn this down. You notice how I just kind of take my hand and split around that when I'm sitting here, because that holds the whole fabric in place. And again, obviously, got right back to where I started. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you, obviously you've seen me do the outside. I'm going to do it again because I got to. And when you're doing this, like I said, I don't know what's happened to my little scissors, but I am going to get my smallest ones here so that I can get right up. Can you take this? There they are. I want to get right up to that. And you can use these all the way around if you want. It just takes longer. But there where I had too wide of a cut, I wanted to get that.
They want to know, is your pedal still backwards even though you're doing regular sewing?
Yeah, because I sew that way all the time. And I speeded it up, and that's why when I pressed on it, it just took off. But that's the way I sew all the time. It hurts your ankle less. You're just using your toes. Never thought that was going to be a problem, but as you get older, some of those things happen. So I'm going to lay that back, and still you can see, because I've got that fusible on there, I'm just able to cut right around that. And some of you probably, when I first laid this fabric on, went, whoa, that's a bit much, Donelle. I don't know if my eyes can take it. But when we get that inside circle cut out, you'll see a big difference.
After you do these before you go on, will you do one that is just stitches and not the fabric circle?
That's a good idea. That's what we'll end up with. Okay? So this, I'm not taking this out of here. I am going to take my seam ripper and I will work all the way around this because I don't want to take that pin out. So I'm putting this in here, making sure that I've only got that layer. So this is kind of like the template deal. but not. And I am, because this is a small circle, I am going to use my little scissors, because normally I would have used my 4-inch applique and I can't find them. So once I clip that around there, then I can just go right around with these. And I hope that this is opening some of your creative idea getting you some creative ideas for what you can be doing. And a lot of this is good stash buster too. I mean, you know, you've got little pieces of this and whatever. And so you can just do all kinds of fun things, seasonal or not. And so we're almost there. Sorry, I just gave you guys a little bit of a waffle jerk. So now I just pick this up, take this off, and so that's exposed on the inside there. And now we're going to just select another decorative stitch. I'll get one that goes pretty fast. At least that will be my goal. And
You've got a few of them on here saying that now they probably won't be able to sleep tonight because they're just so excited and they'll be thinking of circles.
So this one is a little tiny stitch, but I'm going to widen it out because I can. And we'll see what this looks like. Somebody must have said something funny.
June said, yes, it is. I think she means that these are exciting, addicting, those kind of things. She says, but I'm going to have to need a sugar daddy.
Now you could actually just use an applique stitch if you wanted. And I have done it where I've used an applique stitch and gone back and put a decorative stitch over it in a different color. So that's pretty cool too.
What you're doing now is not considered free motion, right?
Oh no, the foot is working. It's going right around. I mean, the feet teeth are working. It's going right around with my pivoting on that point. And I used a small stitch this time, so you can see that it's going to catch and cover up what was in there in the middle. So it's going to hold that down. And again, you can't see it, but my hands are out here supporting on the outer edges of all of the fabric here, because I could actually turn this in and put my wonder clips back in there, and it would be easier, much easier. So I'm around there, and I'm able to now cut my threads. And this is why I like this setup a little bit better than, or why I like having my holes in here, I guess is the best way to say it, because I can just reach under there and pick that up, and now it's ready to go again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to reposition the whole thing. So let's get another decorative stitch here, and see what we can do. On the outside of this, I'm going to put this stitch. So after this, I'll just do one row somewhere of just a decorative stitch. So you can see how I would do it without a circle, because you know, you don't have to have fabric. This one is going to take a little bit of time, so I think right now would be the perfect time to see who our big winner is. So we appreciate you guys all staying with us. You're going to love this stitch that's coming out in the back. Some of you can see it right now. It is so pretty. And you know what? If I like it well enough, I may say, you know what? I'm just going to do that again on the inside, and it'll be covered up and you won't even see it. So it's just totally up to you. I could put another row in here too. So, Megan, reach down in there. She's been writing you guys' names out, and
which is why I didn't get the camera moved. Sorry,
yes,
guys.
sorry you guys, but I know you wanted to be entered. So here we go.
Pull it, get deep. There you go.
So here it is. Marcia Gentry.
Woohoo!
Marcia Gentry, you are the winner of the background fills templates. And so you are going to be receiving those. You will just need to send my email address, send to my email address your mailing address so that we can get those to you. So Marcia, is it Marcia or Martha?
Marcia.
Marcia, tell us where you're from. Marcia, where are you from? Marcia, oh Marcia.
If someone knows Marcia, they might need to contact her.
Oh yeah. Did Marcia leave? Oh, that wouldn't be a good idea. Are you out there, Marcia? Otherwise, we'll draw again. So now everybody who was saying congratulations, Marcia, is saying Marcia might not win. Are you out there, Marcia?
They want to know what stitch you're using.
I'm on a M7 Continental Janome, and I am using Decorative Stitch number 19. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a fun, pretty stitch. And this is why I love doing the circle sewing with my template quilting, because it allows me to use some of these stitches that I never would have had opportunity to use.
She's there!
All right, awesome, Marcia. Where is Marcia from? She was probably eating dinner somewhere and about choked when she heard her name called. Marcia is from oh, she said, don't give away my stuff. That was a good one. Somebody said this kind of looks like a rope, and yes, it does kind of look like a rope.
We have other friends on here now of Marcia saying, don't give away her prize.
Oh, that's good.
Friends.
You're good friends. It looks like maybe she's from North Carolina.
Can I close up on this stitch? Sure, guys, hold on. How is that?
And again, make sure when you're using the decorative threads to use the right size needle. I'm using a 40 weight thread, so I'm using a size 90 needle. Do we have any more questions or comments? I can tell you, as pretty as this is out here, I'm probably going to go back and do this, but I'm not going to do that tonight. And that happens to me all the time. And I'll tell you, if you have a stitch that goes bad, let's say it bunches up in one place and spreads out in another, what I've done is taken a compatible color, So like maybe I would take lavender and I would just go back and do another stitch on top of it, and it always looks even more interesting than you had planned. So we're getting there, guys. So I think while I'm sitting here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the center of one of our circles. I'll come out here on this area out here where you can't see. And we will put the pin right in the center of that, and we'll do a stitch around one of those circles. So I don't know what you're going to do when this is over tonight. I hope you'll go right now and order your templates and your ruler stickers and anything else you need to go along with it, and consider ordering one of those tables. Remember, my favorite is the wish table because I know you're going to love it. And if you already have all of that, you can get a light stick to make it so that you can use it as a light box at the end. So you can get all that done and then go get some fabrics ready for your templates when they arrive. Oh, look what I did. I'm sewing and I don't have any bobbin thread. So we're just going to deal with that later. I'm going to take this off of here because I don't want you to have to wait on me for that. I can't believe we've stitched through 2 whole bobbins. So let me wind this real quickly and get another color thread, Megan.
So question is, could you use metallic thread on this?
Yes, you certainly could. Make sure you got the right kind of needle and you'll be fine. So as I was saying, make sure you get your stuff ordered. Use that little shopping cart link. Megan even gave you another link I think that you can copy and paste. And can you believe it, you guys? I am winding a bobbin and you can hardly hear it working. It's the quietest bobbin winder I have ever had. So what I was going to tell you is, Megan and I get to go grocery shopping. Are we excited or what? Oh, the look on her face. Oh, the look on her face.
You think we're going grocery shopping. We might just go get food and come home.
No, no, no. All right, so now, Megan, you've got to get me a thread.
I got it. They want to see yellow.
Well, yellow's not going to show up very well on that, but we can do yellow.
Well, they want to see a contrasting thread.
But we're on just the fabric background because they wanted to see it without anything else.
I'm still giving you yellow.
Not lavender, huh?
No. You'll be good.
Sorry, I'm going to have to override y'all because I want you to be able to see it.
Okay.
How about that? We've already used that. We'll use this. All right. This is going to be a hard one to walk away from. I want to get it finished.
We have smart people on here. They went grocery shopping before this.
That's what we should have done. But we were getting ready. All right, so this is what we've got so far. And I'll come back and finish that. You want to pull it out, Megan, a little ways so they can see?
I did. What do you want me to pull? Pull the whole thing
out?
out?
Oh, no. I thought you were still in real close.
Nope.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right to this point right here. And I'm going to take my circle sewing tool and get right in the center. And I'm even going to go so far as to check it.
Well, they can't see what you're doing.
That's okay.
Okay. Vicki, I thought we should have used a variegated thread as well, but it doesn't show up very well.
It will show up, but it doesn't do very well when it goes back and repeats on itself.
Oh, okay.
It starts looking stripy, unfortunately. So you have to kind of watch. You can do it, but I would test it first. Oh, no, 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 don't go out. There we go. So I've got that in there. Got too much stuff around my machine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in so I can do this size of a circle. And it'll be around that circle. So we're going to do a stitch that goes rather quickly. Oops, pulled it right out of the needle.
Robbie says, I hate to see you cover up those beautiful background circles.
Yeah, I know. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a row of, what am I going to do a row of? This is a cute little design. We'll do this. Okay. So here we go, just a circle that's going to go around on our fabric. Now, I think I've got the smallest one I can do. Yeah. So foot down, needle down, foot down. And so on this one, I kind of got to get the hang of what the design is doing. I'm not in love with that at all. Nope, nope, nope. I'll take it out. I'm going to cut that one. It's too open. You can see it's not really doing much of anything. It's too open of a design. So I need to find something that is going to fill in a bit more.
So while you're finding a better one, Nancy has a question. How small of a circle can you make with the bar versus a straight and circles tool?
The straight and circles tool, you can make smaller circles than on some machines. But it depends on how far your machine is away. Like right here, I'm trying to feel it. Right here's the edge of my machine, right there. So my bar sticks on this far. So it depends on where your bar, or how long the bed of your machine is, how small the circle can be. Again, you can see the importance of having that smooth surface so that this doesn't get hung up, caught up, whatever. And don't be fooled by that pin more. It's not in the middle. The pin is, but the pin more is off to the side. So again, congratulations to Marcia and all of Marcia's friends who hung out for her. And we will get that to you, Marcia. I so appreciate everybody joining us. I appreciate your excitement for my new templates. I hope that you all get them ordered and get them in, because I'm looking forward to some Saturday night projects between now and Christmas with those. And so I would want you to have them ready to go. And I think we'll say so long for now if there aren't any more questions. So Megan's gonna start the music and we'll just sew on out of here. Bye, guys.